All right, guys, well, I'm back today with a high-value Trijicon LPVO. Some may even call this a good budget option. This is a Trijicon Huron, and it's a 1:6 LPVO with a very simple reticle system, 30mm tube, and the key is no illumination. You get what you get with this optic, but what you get is pretty darn good for the money. We're going to be talking about the specs and features of this optic, why you may want something like this, and its performance down at the range. But before we do, I want to give a huge shout out to Optics Planet. Optics Planet has been one of the longest supporters of the channel. Without their support, it'd be really difficult to continue to produce reviews like this. A huge shout out to OP, 704 Tactical. You know what it is. You know what to do with it. Again, thanks to Optics Planet. Another company I want to give a huge shout out to is AAC. These guys provided the ammo to help make this video. And again, without AAC's ammo support, it'd be really difficult to really put a lot of these through their paces. And we've been running a lot of AAC, a ton of their standard 55 grain, but also some of their match stuff. Again, a huge shout out to these guys. Now back into the review. Let's start off with the elephant in the room, the price point of this guy. And you were looking at just under $6 and for a Trijicon 1:6 LPVO, that is a smoking deal. Now they are getting away with that, in my opinion, because they are not including illumination, and that's probably the first con of this setup right off the bat is no illumination. If you are planning on using this for nighttime hunting, it does gather a ton of light and transmits it well. But if you were talking about kind of like a black on black reticle system with a darker target, you may have some difficulties picking that up early twilight, late evening, things like that. So something to consider when you are purchasing this optic. But when you get away from that illumination, everything else is absolutely awesome. The fit and finish is spectacular. The build quality is amazing. The zoom knob is super smooth, and the turrets themselves are actually capped, but they're really nice under the caps themselves. Super easy to get sighted in, very audible and tactile clicks, and the Trijicon quality is throughout this optic. I mean, from start to finish, you're getting an amazing quality optic. Another thing about this, it has an amazing set of glass in it. It is crystal clear, and if you've ever looked down a Trijicon, you know that'd be a case across the board. They did not skimp on the lens system on this particular optic. Now, this is a second focal plane optic, meaning as you zoom in and out, the reticle stays the same size, so it's only going to be valid for those drops inside the reticle system at the 6 power setting, and that is a very simple second focal plane BDC reticle system. It has the larger duplex lines that leads into kind of a smaller crosshair section, and it gives you all of the information you need, and this is going to be like the BDC Hunter holds. Now, for me, something like this optic is incredibly nice for hunting, not only because of the glass clarity and simple reticle system, but because of the eye box and eye relief. Now, the eye box and eye relief is kind of how far close up, left, right, up, and down you can be to the optic and still get a good sight picture. A lot of high-value LPVOs really lack in the eye box and eye relief quality. Now, this one is very forgiving, meaning you can be a little bit closer, a little bit further back, and still make out a good sight picture. It's also very forgiving left, right, up, and down. So really nice right there. This is a true 1-power reticle. You can get the adjustable diopter set up specifically for your eyes, and you get a crystal clear true 1x option to get a large field of view, track something across a field at a 1:1 eye to optic ratio. And then if you need to take your shot, you can kind of zoom in with this guy and go all the way up to the 6 power setting, or utilize those BDC holds at the 6 power setting. So that works out incredibly well. Now, for me, this is going to be a great optic when you know you're not going to be using the rifle later on at night, maybe in like a dark room or something like that, where illumination would come in handy. It gives you a lot of advantages of some of the more premium Trijicons that cost 3 times as much. And really the only thing this one in particular is lacking is maybe a more complicated reticle system. Some of the other options offer a little bit larger tube for better light transmission, and they also offer illumination. But this one does amazing with the light. It does amazing with the reticle and glass quality. So I really like this option for me personally. When you are adding it to something you know that you don't need illumination for. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Is illumination a deal breaker for you? I love to see companies like Trijicon Trijicon, especially in the Huron 1-6, offer great high-value options without sacrificing quality to give you guys what you need on a little bit better budget so you don't have to break the bank and spend well over a G. Again, this one is sub 6 bills. Pretty awesome option in my opinion. Again, thanks to Optics Planet for sending this out. Thanks to AAC for the ammo support. Have a good one.